Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lynchs Tomb. We're going to be doing Magic the Gathering top 10 Tomb cards. So now, at number 10, we have Tomb of the Spirit Dragon from Khans of Tarkir. It's an uncommon gold for 30 cents on the market. Well, this one, the picture looks cool. Other than that, it says add 1 mana to your mana pool or pay 2 life, gain 1 life for each color's creature control. So it can work out. But overall, this card is not very powerful compared to other Tomb cards, so this is why it's at number 10 and the first on our list. So now, at number 9, which we have is Lynch's Tomb from Dark Steel. It's a rare going for 86 cents on the market. This one's actually kind of fun. I remember playing it when it was standard at the time. It costs 4 colors. You don't lose the game for having 0 life or less. Whenever you lose life, sacrifice a permanent for each 1 life lost. So if you have a lot of tokens or whatever, this can be actually very effective in real gameplay, but not very often. But I do believe it is better than the previous card. So let's move on to number 8. You have Tomb of the Urami from Savers of Kamigawa. It's a rare going for $1.04. Well, this one, it's definitely an interesting picture, that's for sure. It's a legendary land. It says add 1 to your mana pool. It deals 1 damage to you if you don't control an ogre. You may pay 2 colors or 2 swamp. Sacrifice all lands you control. Put a 5/5 black demon spirit creature token with flying name into play, which is really surprising. It doesn't actually even have haste, so this is kind of like a last ditch move. So it could be very helpful and really cool. So let's move on to number 7, which we actually have is one of my favorite cards in the Magic world, Pillar Tombs of a Coup. It's from Visions. It's a rare going for $1.52 on the market at the time of this video, probably because it is on the reserve list. Now, the reason why I like this card is if it's obviously ability. During each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature or that player loses 5 life and you bury Pillar Tombs of a Coup. For only 4 mana, it's almost guaranteed that player will lose 5 life. It can backfire, but from a personal perspective, I really love this card. I like this ability on an enchant world or enchantment as you would now play for black. Typically, this would not happen, so this is why I really like this card, but I will not go on about it. So let's move on to number 6. We got Overgrown Tomb from various sets, being rare with an average price of $13.67. So already at number 6, we're getting to very expensive cards. So the Tomb seems to be a powerful word for value-wise in the Magic world. Comes into play, battlefield, you pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tap. So I really like that ability where you can choose to pay 2 life or not. So it makes this card a very powerful land. So let's move on to number 5, which is a very interesting card. It's Alor's Tomb. It's from Legends as a rare, going for $49.89 on the average cost. Now, back in the day, it used to be very powerful, not so much anymore, because when Magic first started, a lot of things were color-based. So this one basically says, 2, change the color of target permanent you control to a color of your choice, use counters, cast, tap, maintain, or use the special ability of a card remains unchanged. It costs 4 to mana. So like I said, back in the day, this was very more powerful, but today's standards, it's not powerful at all. But that's why it's at number 5, because it does still have some good effects. So let's move on to number 4. We have Dracula's Tomb. It's a secret lair drop. It's a rare going for $14.73 at the time of this video. Well, it is kind of cheating because it is considered to be called Phyrexian Tower, but because of the secret lair drop, they did call it Dracula's Tomb, which I will go for this video. Add 1 colors or sacrifice a creature, add 2 swamps. So that's a really cool ability because it costs nothing to do that ability. And it is all about Dracula. So I like the saying is cool, the card is cool, and it's very impressive. So let's move on to number 3. We have a very powerful card, Alor Tomb of Yawgmoth. It's from various sets, being rare or mythic depending on the set, with an average price of $33. So these Tomb cards are actually becoming very playable in the real world, not just Tomb cards, but cards that you can play with. This one's quite simple. It just says each land is a swamp in addition to its other land type. So you can really have fun with this card. I won't go on about it because it's pretty basics. So let's move on to number 2, where we have Ancient Tomb. Various sets, various rarity with an average price of $62. I really wish I didn't sell all my Ancient Tombs. I didn't think this card would be so expensive later in life, but it says add 2 colors to your mana pool and deals 2 damage to you. So, like the other, like the Overgrown Tomb, it does 2 damage. This card is very powerful because you add 2 mana right off the bat. You can't beat that. Uh, I just wish I didn't sell them all. That's the only thing I'll say, guys. So let's move on to number 1, where we got Cyclopian Tomb from various sets being rare for almost $60. And well, it doesn't show it. It does cost 4 to put into play. It costs 2 mana to turn any one non-swamp land into a swamp during your upkeep. If this is basically Tomb is destroyed, the lands go back to its original nature. I think this card is 100% powerful. We'll probably never see it again because I did say very sets, being, Alpha Unlimited or whatever. But other than that, other than those few rare old school, this is not going to be reprinted. I think the picture's cool. I think this is 100% powerful. In fact, I might even make a deck based on this card now because of this video. So again, this Tomb card is 100% powerful. I love it. 4 mana. So other than that, I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.